Oh, hello. Come in, take a seat, why don't you? Let me pour you a drink. Don't worry about that. This one's on the house. You know, I've had all sorts pass through here over the years, and they've all got stories to share. Yeah, I've had Kelly Perkins, a hero from Earth sent to save a colony on Mars, no less. I've had Captain Thomas Burton. He was in the British Army during the First World War, don't you know? Came face to face with a mythical beast from beyond the stars. And then there was Fen Falstock, a bounty hunter from a galaxy far, far away. And on this particular job, his life got turned upside down. Fate's a fickle mistress, but she always leaves us with a tale to tell. And something I've noticed about these tales over the years is they all start the same way. That adventurer comes in and they order their drink and they say to me, "Barkeep, let me tell you a story." And then they look me square in the eye and they say, "It all started with the Game Master and me."
To find out more, follow us on Twitter at The GM and Me or visit our website, thegamemasterandme.com.
Welcome one and all to Merely Roleplayers, where theatrical people play role-playing games. I'm Matt, I am your compere for this season, and I'm joined around the table now, first of all, by Helen.
Hello.
Also by Strat.
Hello.
By Ellen.
Hi.
And by Natalie.
Oh, hi.
And Natalie, we're concentrating on you today.
Yes.
In this Backstage episode. So, let's start off with the big open question. Mm-hmm. Are there any moments from any of your seasons on Merely Roleplayers that you still think about, that are still like really strong memories for you?
Oh, yeah. And I'm cheating because I have like one from each, really, rather than just one overall.
Actually, remind us which seasons you've been in.
Yes. So, confusingly, the first one I recorded, but not the first one that aired, was Cloudskipper's Captain. And then I did Upstaged, which then aired first. And then I was in Prospero, which has just finished. So, Cloudskipper's, because it was my first one with you guys, I was a little bit more nervous, but I was super excited about the kind of the Sky Pirates theme and getting into that. So I think the moment for me that I keep remembering is the fact that I ended up with the power to kill Evangeline, like the big bad. And I just felt really bad about it and guilty about it. I was like, oh no, Strat has put so much effort into designing this amazing world with this big bad character, and I've just taken her down because I rolled really well.
It's role-playing games for you.
I know, right? So it was a really cool moment. I felt badass doing it, but I also felt like scared and incredibly guilty. So probably that from that one.
It definitely sounds like the most intense moment.
Yeah.
Is there one that stands out as like the most fun moment?
I think I think afterwards you said that it wasn't something that you'd intended, but I think the discovering the lightning cutlass fitted in and was like the key to unlocking stuff.
Yeah, you guys created that without realising it. Yeah, that was fun to do. It's like they're making their own mystery and solving it, and all I've got to do is put these pieces in particular places, and that was a really fun kind of
it just worked so well. It was just incredibly satisfying.
Yeah, I felt a bit guilty at the end of that, because when you said all about the cutlass, and I was like, yeah, no, you made that up. A few of you just went, oh, like I apologise in retrospect for that, because it felt at that moment it felt like I'd taken that success away from you. Like you hadn't solved my mystery, but you had and made it, which I think is more impressive. So,
But I think it's that gamer instinct, right? If the DM mentions like there's one that's a bit more shiny, you're like, right, okay, well, that's glowing green around the outside. That is an important plot kind of point.
That object isn't painted into the background. That is interactable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the sword was always meant to be where the map was. It was just originally going to be pretty easy to get. It was just like maybe a catch, and you go, oh, there it is. But you guys are like, oh, but there's this thing, and I only put the stand in the other room to try and make the sword more important when you found it in the armoury. I didn't expect you to go, oh, well, we best go put it there. So that was really fun.
That was a cool moment, and then in terms of Upstaged, I think it's got to be the Brighton Pier incident, everyone diving in. What? Like I was kind of a periphery to that, but it was just beautiful, just fantastic, the way it all played out. We were just like, yep.
Only solution.
Only solution.
Just got to dive in. Yeah.
You had to make it seem like that was the plan.
Part of the performance, part of the show, interactive, immersive, submersive.
Oh, very nice.
It was a special moment. And then in Prospero, I think it's going to be like the first moment when we saw the paddle steamer, and I was like, hang on a minute, guys. Not expecting Matt to be like, it disintegrates before your very eyes. I was like, oh no. What have I done? What is this precedent I've now set?
You made yourself a bit of a loose cannon and a danger in that one just by doing that.
It was like that moment that you had with Chris right at the end, listening back to that. It's like one of the most intense little scenes of this kind of like, what are you doing? I've just got my husband back. Why are you destroying him? And Chris, and your reaction to him, I love that bit. Yeah. That was really nice.
Absolutely a more emotional moment to listen to for me. I got very emotional through listening. We can talk about that.
We've been hearing Chris pine for Clive for 9 episodes.
I felt so bad.
Invested.
And again, it was just in the moment. I hadn't thought at all that is what you were going to do, and I was like, oh, of course he's going to. No, what have I done, Clive?
And I was sat there saying, I've just sacrificed myself so my best friend can get his husband back, and if you take him away from him.
It's not intentional. But of course has left Prospero napped in a particular kind of state of mind.
So, bearing all that in mind, which one would you say of those 3 seasons has like the most memorable moments for you? Is it still Cloudskipper because that was the one that you thought first?
Memorable moments, possibly Prospero.
Okay,
I'd say if it was like. Because one of your other questions, just to cheat and skip ahead, I know, is like which...
The audience have heard all the questions a few times by now.
Okay, that's fine. If the question is like, which world would you want to return to, it's probably definitely like Cloudskipper, because I think there was so much that you prepared there and so much else that we wanted to explore. Whereas I feel like the Prospero story finished neatly for me with the Viola in tandem, but in terms of memorable moments, I think it's the shipwreck Prospero Viola.
Okay, well, what that means is you're going to get a +1 to recall that version of yourself. So you can write +1 on your Prospero and Viola sheet,
for better or for worse.
So then let's talk more about why you'd want to revisit Cloudskipper's Captain, why that's the one that you feel like there's more to tell.
I mean, it ended like it was a proper kind of movie happy ending, right? We got the big ship, we sailed off into the sky, the captain was kind of restored to his former glory, and that was quite nice, but I think it was just all in the world building that Strat had done for it, and the beautiful map work, and the fact that we kind of discussed all of these backstories that we all had. I just think there's a lot more to explore there.
Yeah, I mean, your character, your version of yourself definitely needed to at least revisit the Cloudskipper itself, because didn't you have loads of jewels hidden?
I did. I had all of my booty call booty was kind of hidden in pockets of the ship's hull.
Yes, and you sailed off on a different ship without all of your jewels.
Yeah. But whether that was, I guess, if the new ship was full of riches and we were living the life that we were happy with, then I don't know.
Got a nest egg.
Yeah. Whether I'd need those jewels or not anymore, I don't know.
Any other versions of yourself from previous seasons feel like they have unfinished business? Or do you feel like you sort of, in the same way as Prospero and Viola, like you kind of wrapped that kind of character arc?
I think, the Cloudskippers, we had this situation that we talked about in the character creation thing, but never came to anything because we just didn't go there and the story went another way, was the situation with this Lord Edmund Thorne who had stolen the jewels from. Like, that was always a possibility that you had in case we ran into someone of authority or money.
Yeah.
But whether it needs to be resolved or not, I don't know.
Also, just throwing out there from a GM perspective, because it was something I was thinking about afterwards, you never confirmed the kill.
Oh, that's true.
You kind of just did it and then ran away, leaving her with a lot of people that she was friends with.
That's true.
And we know from Merely Roleplayers law that a sliced throat doesn't necessarily mean you die, and that baddies with sliced throats turn up in the middle of the Wild West quite a lot.
Now you have me very worried. Don't put ideas into Matt's head.
Making notes. Okay, so that will give you a +1 for Cloudskipper's captain in that case, as one that you would like to revisit. That gives you a +1 to recall that version of yourself.
As well or instead?
As well. And then the quickfire round, of those 3 versions, which do you feel like is the closest to the real you and which is the furthest away?
I think it was probably at the start, would have been Prospero and Viola. I tried to play that
as closest.
Yeah, I tried to play that as truthfully as I could, given the situation. And again, I'd say Cloudskipper was probably the furthest away, whereas the upstaged version was kind of just like me hyperactive on wanting to make sure everyone has a good time. So that's me in a very specific mood, but not kind of an overall me, I think.
All right, so that will give you another +1 on Prospero. So turning that into a +2. It will give you a -1 on Cloudskipper.
Okay.
Taking that to a 0.
Okay.
And because we don't have any numbers on Upstaged yet, that is a -1.
Okay.
I'm fine, sorry.
And then finally, we've been through 9 different genres on the show. You've played in 3 of them.
Yeah.
Are there any other genres that you wish that we could have done or that you hope that we might do in the future?
Outside of the ones that you've already done?
Outside of the ones we've done, yeah. Well, I mean, also, if there's ones that we have done that you wish you'd got to play in, tell us about that as well.
I mean, I'm a sci-fi nerd, so definitely would have loved to have been in Parallax. But, I mean, you already had so many people involved in that. And that was technically before I'd kind of approached you guys
before
and been
we brought
like,
you into the
hi.
fold.
I mean, you kind of had a bit of I was thinking kind of Victoriana steampunky detective type thing, or maybe more of a a classic Hammer horror.
Oh yeah,
kind of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen kind of vibe.
Yeah.
We never explored any crypts.
No, we did not.
I mean, you touched on that with 5-Stage Rescue a little bit, and the Ariadne one a little bit, but
never went full on monster.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess we didn't. You've not done like a full on Tolkien-esque fantasy realm one, but I'm not mad about it because Merely Roleplayers is doing something slightly different, and there's loads of other games that do that.
Well, maybe at some point, maybe today, maybe in this session, maybe at some point in the future, we'll touch on that Hammer horror.
Okay.
Until then, Nat, you are ready to play.
Huzzah!
You've been listening to Merely Roleplayers. In this season, you'll hear Ellie Pitkin, Alex Pankhurst, Josh Yard and Dave, Chris Starkey, Chris Buxey and Chris, Helen Stratton, Ellen Gould, Natalie Winter and Strat, all playing various versions of themselves, along with special guest appearances by Ellie Pitkin as Nia and the Space Jam Continuum podcast's Chris McLennan as Candice. I'm Matt, and I edited and produced the season, wrote and performed the theme music, and designed and ran the game we're playing. Like most of our games, this one's powered by the Apocalypse. You can find more games in this genre at apocalypse-world.com/pbta. If you enjoy Merely Roleplayers, let us know with a review or rating on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or wherever you do your listening. You can also find us on Twitter at Merely Roleplay, at facebook.com/merelyroleplayers, and at merelyroleplayers.com. Merely Roleplayers is an independent production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Join us for more drama next episode.